Hello and welcome back to Hunt Lowdown, the podcast for our fellow four stars. I'm Baldor, and I'm with here, as always, with a lovely Drake.
Hello, hello.
So, uh, we're actually now recording this. These normally, the last couple have been like, this has been a couple months, but this is actually like, we get to do a fun topic again. We don't have to just go, hey, there's an event out.
Right.
Um, yeah, how's life been since the last episode?
Same, honestly. Life's pretty boring at the moment for me, as usual. I
Anything?
think I've said that every episode so far.
Anything exciting coming out? I know there's like a stupid amount of video games about to come out. Like I was talking with like the list of them, and there's something like 9 games that are looking really, really solid or just came out. Like, what's with the past like year and just being bangers?
Right. I don't know. Games that are coming out,
Are you gonna be
dude.
Baldur's Gate with me? You gonna Baldur's Gate 3 with me?
I actually intend on playing that, but I think I have a group set up for that already. I'll have to verify with them.
Okay,
But if
I'm
I
I'm
don't, though, I will hit you up.
Riley Hunter and I will do it. It's got drop in, drop out, so we can always do some harassment. Um,
Okay.
the fun thing is they've changed everything just enough to make some bits that I've always wanted to do almost viable, but I don't know. And they've tweaked stuff just enough. So the one that really annoys me is I can do Sorcerer Paladin with Oath of Devotion because like I play goody two shoes. It's just what I do.
That's fair.
Um, and I want to, and so I'm
That's why
like, okay, it
that's why
doesn't.
you didn't play V Rising with me, is because you wanted to play
Yeah, yeah.
the bad guys of the game, which are the good people.
And so in 5e, Oath of Devotion lets you like once per long rest or whatever add your charisma to your attacks.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. So I don't have to go 3 levels of Warlock to get the charisma sword for Pact of the Blade, and I can do that. And then they changed it. Now instead of getting that, Paladin gets some like healing thing for Oath of Devotion. And I'm
Oh,
like, okay, so I could go Oath of Vengeance, but I don't like the lore as much, and I can't just flavor it because it's a video game.
right.
So
It's
I'm
pre-flavored.
trying. Yeah, I'm trying to get some squishy sorcerer melee build, but they made it go squishy and sorcerer. So anyway,
Uh,
that's Baldur's Gate. We're D&D nerds,
this is
so I wanted to touch on that.
Baldur's Gate.
Yeah,
uh,
Baldur's Gate.
I intend on playing Diablo 4, but I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it.
I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard that it's
Oh,
like very. I've heard that like mechanically it's a great game.
mm-hmm.
Eh,
Grindy.
but like something to do with was it? I can't remember if it was story. There was something about it.
Okay,
People were like, it's just not
okay.
fun. You know, I was just like, oh, okay, well,
I
I'll
wouldn't
have
be
to.
surprised because I know Diablo's a big grind game, so if they like upped it too much, that could be a pain.
Well, it was grindy in Diablo 3. I don't remember Diablo 2 being terribly grindy, but 3
Oh,
got very grindy.
okay. See, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with. I've never played them
Oh,
very
okay.
much, so
They're very good games. I mean, if I'm honest with you, I would actually say go play 2. If you want
it's
like the
it,
original vibe, you know? And
it's always
then
in like the time sync of them for me.
that's fair. That's totally
Because
fair. I mean, you can just play it for the story too, frankly. Like,
yeah, because
uh,
I got the early access Baldur's 3, and so I'm like, hey guys, that's what I'm because my Pathfinder group's been trying to get me to get Divinity
Original Sin 2.
2. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And
It's
so
pretty
they're
good.
like, why not both? And I'm like, it's a time thing. That's a lot. Because the thing
I
that got me Baldur's Gate was they go, hey, it's cool enough to 5e. I'm like, I actually know that system. That's nice. Because that's why I
um
find one of the Pathfinder games. Because I'm like, oh, it's just gonna be Pathfinder. But apparently, the video games is still Pathfinder 1, which isn't the current. I play Pathfinder 2, and so it's still fair
oh,
enough away that
okay.
it's frustrating. And
Right.
they front load all of it. So they're like, choose your
Oh
class and
no.
like 40 subclass. I'm like, I don't I don't know how this combat works. What
Right. I
you
don't know
can't front.
anything
I'm
about
like,
this.
there's no respecking in this one. You can't do this to me.
If you want closest to 5e, get Solasta. That has been so much fun to me.
I will look into that. I haven't heard of
Solasta, they pulled in all of the SRD from 5e, so
that.
it's all legit. And then anything that like, I won't say anything because there's obviously not perfect overlap, but like, you know, for example, something like the Arcane Trickster Rogue
Hmm.
archetype is not SRD, but they have something similar to it in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So it's not. verbatim, but it's like really, really close.
I
So there's
don't.
also just new spells and stuff that I didn't
Yeah, I don't
expect.
want it for. I don't want it necessarily verbatim. I just want it to be close enough that I understand how things work. Because like Baldur's
Yeah,
Gate 3 is not exactly, but it's the thing of I want to understand without having, because 5e is really, I really like the system, but it's when you first start having stuff thrown at you, like concentration and like is 2d6 damage good or bad on a spell,
right.
and like having all of that front loaded is really rough.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's doing that with the new system, and when you're doing that in tabletop, it's a little bit easier because you have people to explain it to you each step, and you can typically have some leeway with your DM of going, oh, that is not how that spell worked, like I thought it did.
Right,
It was in like a class if you're playing like a sorcerer, which I will choose because I love sorcerer.
right.
Um, then they're like, you're only gonna change your spells at level up. You're gonna change one. So like, if you choose one, they're like, okay, it's level 11. I finally fixed my build.
Right.
So
You know what's funny
certain
about
stuff
that?
being
About you
different, I
saying
just don't
that.
want it to be completely different.
Right. It's funny you saying that because playing
Mhm.
Solasta, my brother and I have had conversations about it, and it's funny because we both, when we were talking about it, we're like, this thing doesn't work the way we thought it did. Like, we've been playing
Yeah.
tabletop for years, 5e for years,
Hmm.
and we played Solasta, we were like, wait, is this how this thing really is supposed to work? Have we been doing this wrong the entire time? So we'll go back and
For
reread it
some
and be
reason.
like actually read it properly and be like, oh, okay, I guess that's how that probably works.
I
Okay.
I had that from a group where somebody was like, one of my friends was DMing something, and they're like, so they cast this spell and just ruined the encounter, and they sent it like in the group chat thing, and I go, that's not how that spell works, and they're like, well, that's why with and they just kept going, and then eventually I had to sit them down. I'm like, no, that you gotta, because there's like something like horde person, it was like
Okay.
they weren't giving like the extra saves or something like that. It was just like, no, if you have to like, that would have broken the game if that's like a second level spell that.
It's like
Yeah,
it's
but I
it's
can't
like it's
remember. It
like when
was
I thought quickening would affect spells. Like, or sorry, excuse me, when
uh
quickening would affect spells that weren't direct targets. So I was
yeah.
like, I was
Or
lobbing
like
two fireballs in a single round.
yep. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I twinned fireball. And then quicken spell. You're like, you can only do one spell. Which, by the way, all of you who plan to play sorcerers with quicken spell in Baldur's Gate 3, you will have the action of you go, no, quicken spell costs 3 sorcery points instead of 2. Boo! I can't believe they ruined quicken spell. And then you go, wait, no, you don't have the restriction of one spell a turn. So you can go fireball in
Okay.
one turn legally. And
Okay.
if you really want to be just a bad person, go fighter action surge,
Oh
quicken
no,
spell, fireball.
that's
Goodbye, boss.
evil. If you have enough points
Anyway,
for it, I would do vitriolic
oh
sphere.
yeah, it's the thing. You can do some really
Oh,
good stuff with that, but like when you get to those things, you're invested in, like you're spending so many resources in one go.
right. That's a single boss fight move right there.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm still getting used to like when you like how often you're able to long rest with it. I played enough of early access. I was just like getting a feel for it.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fair.
Anyway, that's a tabletop rant.
That's a D&D lowdown right there.
I would love to do a like D&D cast too. Like I mentioned, but like if we ever like move time, we just change it to like the lowdown.
If we run
We
out
can have
of
like a
hunt content.
spin-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do like a spin-off where we talk about like D&D or movies or whatever the frick.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that listening? Would you wanna hey, instead of just hunt specifically, maybe do a little bit of other things mixed in?
Yeah, we're not.
That'd
We
be cool
just
to
have
know.
topics on the thing. On that note, if you also have hunt topics that you want requests, like you can always throw those down, because
Yeah.
like we've got a big Google Doc of stuff that we kind of pick from depending on what it is, and so like I can just add it to the list really easily, and then I basically pick them a couple before and then go, Drake, this is the topic. Do you want to do research? Otherwise, I'll have it planned out. So.
Which usually you do the research anyway, because
It's look, it's the thing of I do the prep, you do the editing, and quite frankly, I get the good end of this.
editing sucks. It's not even that hard.
Yeah.
It's just like long.
The thing with editing audio things is whenever I work on something, so like I paint minis, I always put on like a podcast or something,
Mhm.
and you can't do that when you're editing stuff unless it's
Yes,
like real
that
quiet.
is that is the
It's,
most.
it's so much harder to do.
Dude, there's the number of times that I'm like, I pull up my editor and I pull up our content and I'm like, all right, here we go. And I get 2 minutes in and someone's like, hey, can you jump into VC real quick? I gotta ask you a question. And then 3 hours later of talking and I haven't hit play, in the editor to edit
Yep.
because I'm talking to people. It's just like, oh man, I don't want to be rude, but also like I need to get this done. My
Yeah.
weekend is disappearing.
It's the thing of I haven't listened to the newer ones that I need to because I know the first couple you over edited. Not that they sounded bad, but more so I'm sure it sucked to do. So
I don't remember
we
what it
need to
was. You
yeah.
have to tell me what it was, but
You took out like all the like I remember listening to you like you took out like all the pauses, like every
oh, that no,
pause
that was the
and
first one. That was the very first
yeah.
one. That one was
Yeah.
over edited. Yeah, I
And we
tried.
don't
I
yeah,
killed
so
myself over that one.
hopefully we found a happy medium where we're not murdering Drake and it's
I
not
think it's
unpleasant to
fine.
listen to. So okay. So we'll actually move into it because we do have a it's one topic kind of.
But it's
So
long.
today this is the top three podcast lads.
The top three
I
cast.
have I've taken a couple topics of topic, and this is something where we can come back to too if people really like it. But I have given a list of come up with the top three things of this. We're going to discuss them. So to start with, we're going to start with top three budget weapons, and I didn't give any additional things. There's going to be defend them. So what's your number three? We're going to work our way up. What's
But
your number
that's what I
three
thought we would
budget
do.
weapon? Yeah.
So I'm looking at my list and realize I kind of did a like this is my favorite budgets for medium or
Mhm.
compact, medium, and long. And so I,
Okay,
I
that's the way to
kind
do
of
it.
I kind of went down from in that order. So number one is my compact, two is medium, and three is long. So
Sure.
this could be any order technically. But I
Do we
guess
want do we
for
want
price,
to
I guess
do we want to
price
do
wise.
your let's do your list and then we'll do my list and we'll
Okay.
just that way and then we'll discuss them.
So I guess we can see mine as the cheapest option is number one because budget, right? The whole
Hmm.
point is cost effective. So number three then would be a base Sparks with a base Nagant.
Oh, so you did like a full loadout. I was just
Oh,
going strictly one weapon, which is
oh,
fine.
sure. Oh, I could do that too. So Sparks,
Yep.
yeah,
Spikes is
it's 130 bucks.
okay.
It's
Yep.
a solid weapon.
Hmm.
That's my defense. It's a solid weapon for so cheap and it being long ammo.
Yeah, do it. Go through a minute. I'll give mine and then
Okay.
we'll discuss the two if we
Um.
agree or disagree on the other.
Okay. So again, for cost effectiveness,
Mhm.
and this I just like this gun. I know a lot of people don't like this gun. The
I know which one
springy,
this is. Hmm.
the springy. It's a once again a solid gun. You just gotta land your hits, which I'm not great at. But
I would disagree with you until they added the bleed ammo, and now I'm like, yeah, let's go.
well,
Like I'm so with you
what
now.
is the cost of the bleed ammo for that? I gotta remember.
It
Uh,
brings it to like $80 for high intensity potential one shot bleed. It's good.
it's 25 bucks for bleed. So if you get
I was
both,
only
it's
25.
50. It's
Yeah,
50 total for if you get like full
50
bleed.
total, and that's what I typically do
Yeah, I
because you don't
usually do that too.
typically need a full slot of it.
So it'll be 88 bucks then
I've been really
for that.
enjoying playing full springy and then half bleed with a Sentinel shorty, because then the downside of the shorty is its ammo capacity. So like $100, and but you're getting the ammo from the springy. So like you kind of negating the downsides of both guns. You get the additional pressure of the Springfield the bleed, and then the Centennials offset the ammo.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. Anyway, like
That's
going.
that's decent. My number one would just honestly a Winnie C.
Yep.
Maybe a Winnie C marksman if you're
My list is
feeling nutty.
my list is very similar. So I did mine in just order of what I of a kind of like price. I kind of took into account the price versus I think content you're getting from
Okay.
it. So my number three, the Winnie. I just went base Winnie, but Winnie C, Winnie, same thing.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, you get a lot of shots. It's compact. It fires quickly. You get a lot of shots quick. A lot of ammo. Restocks easy. It headshots. It's good for new players because they get this follow-up shots to try again. It's good for pro players to try and hit the headshots. It's good for normal people just hit follow-up shots or headshots. It's really sweet. My second one is probably my hot take here. But this is from the rant last time. Is I put the Berthier here because
Okay.
it's the only multi-shot long ammo that is it's stupid cheap. It's long ammo. You take multiple ammo types that are all pretty good, and get, the new resupply rework. It's really really good for resupplying. You can pair it with pretty much anything, and it works pretty well. It's got good variants of having a Deadeye scope's not optimal. Probably would have been better with a marksman. But then it's got the Riposte variant, which is just fabulous for like $20 additional.
Right.
Um, so I really like that. It's more expensive for like $400, but if you can take a Riposte half secondary, half normal one for like I think it's $400, which is cheaper than the cost of an uppercut. So,
Yeah. Okay.
um, and then my final one is I think the Specs is the best quality per gun. There's been the past like 2 weeks of this I've been playing pretty hard, and every single time I've hit a slump, I just go, "Cool, let's play Sparks." And that gun's stupid good.
Yeah.
I almost put in my list was almost Sparks Martini Springfield, but I'm like I probably shouldn't do all one shot weapons.
It's just funny that that's like your first thought for
Yeah,
budget weapons is all one-shot weapons.
the thing, the big part of the reason why I didn't is I think that taking the multi-shot long ammo one is one thing because while it's not technically like super budget, it's a really one to play multiple times and you're not killing the budget, but you're getting used to playing the better ones. And then I didn't want to do all single shot ones too because A, that's only one part of the game, and B, that's really bad for newer players who just people
Yeah.
who don't like a very specific play style.
Right.
So yeah,
Don't
but I do think it's interesting that we have Winnie and Spikes on there
Yeah.
because
I mean,
I
it's for the ammo type, it's good for the price. It's fantastic for the
yeah,
price, really,
yeah.
especially with the bleed on
I
the
think
Springy.
it's important to say too, like I think the Spikes could be replaced by the Martini, and I think the Winnie could be replaced by the Nagant Officer or the Vedderly, depending on preference, because they're all very similar priced and very similar roles, and I think kind of
Uh,
comes down to
I'm
preference
not sure
there.
about the
But
officer, but yeah, I agree with the Vetterli.
it's only 155. Have have you played it since they fixed the recoil? That's a big
Which
question.
variant are you just talking about? Officer?
Nagant Officer Carbine.
Oh, carbine. Okay, my
Yeah,
brain
yeah.
went to like, why a pistol? Like,
Oh,
compared to a Vetterli.
Nagant Officer is really good. At $100, I don't consider it budget anymore, unfortunately.
Okay.
Which, well, actually, I take that back. Fortunately, because my hot take is there's this point where everybody was going nerf the Dodge, nerf the Dodge, nerf the Dodge, and the real problem was the Nagant Officer being in every single match because it was like $30,
Right. It was super
and
cheap,
yeah, and it was way worse than the Dodge because it was so prevalent. Like it was the right choice a good chunk of the time to take.
and it
And
wasn't
now we kind
special
of have
ammo, or
yeah, and we
isn't.
have the army now to kind of differentiate. No, officers compact,
No, I know. I
but
was saying
yeah,
the fact that the officer's not a special ammo helps a bit,
yes, it was
a lot
very very
actually.
good. It's still very, very good because they only nerfed the price, but the price is just enough of a dissuasion to make people be taking
You
it
don't
all the
see it all
time,
the
which
time.
is
Yeah.
yeah, it's which is the fix I wanted because it drove me nuts there for a minute. Whereas like every time it was like tap headshot from an officer
Right.
for a stretch there. Yeah, but I do also agree with the Springfield. Springfield since they've added bleeds,
It's
it's good.
so good. I love that
They
gun.
updated that, and I immediately bought the compact skin, the Springs Ends. This way, I'd play some spree
Springs
with a
End.
nice
I
one.
actually don't remember what that. I'm gonna go look it up real quick.
It I when they first announced it, I thought it looked kind of lame. It was just like I think I even said this. This might be on a Hunt Lowdown in the past, but I was like, this is just kind of the way springy with some silver trim, but it actually is really nice
That
in
look
game.
Yeah, it looks
So
clean. If I see it in like black
yeah,
market, I might try to grab it. But
yeah, I recommend it. It's a really nice one because I already had the Wraith Hand, but
yeah,
I play springy a lot of time for budget, and so being twice for a bayonet that I never use is kind of
right. Yeah.
it does. The Springs in does have the little bear on the side though that you can see, and I
Yep.
love the little bear.
I like
It's
that.
great. Alright, so that's best budget ones. Is there anything that like just narrowly missed the cut for you?
Um,
That you're like, ooh, I don't want
the
to do that.
to me, there's a big enough of a difference between the Winfield C and the non Winfield C
Mm.
so like the just
Okay.
Winfield, that I considered that Winfield, but then I was like, well, it's what's the major difference there? Is like capacity,
Yeah.
right?
I think the nice thing about that too is you can take a Winnie C with velocity for a similar price
Right.
of
That's
the
true. That
full
is true.
field, which is nice.
But also you get the Switch
Um,
variant with the bigger Winnie. That's just that can be life or
yeah,
death. You know.
it, I think that's one where I definitely take if I'm playing trios, but if otherwise, I typically actually take the base big Winnie now. I used to take base Winnie C because I really liked the Augusta skin, but I got the one with the booze on it. I can't remember the name of it.
The with what on
Um,
it? Sorry.
all the booze bottles because
Oh,
it's.
oh, oh.
I think is it the Red Mountain?
That it might be the right. I'll have to go look.
Yeah, because I've got the spirited and the American, so you can play the alcoholic guy with that, and I think got into
The
that's an
alcoholic
option.
guy with that.
Yeah,
The
and you can take
bartender.
the book bottle knife too if you like really want to commit to it.
Right. Commit to the bit.
But okay, here's gonna be the one that upsets people.
I have one
Best
in here.
weapons,
I have one in here that might
best
upset
weapons,
people.
Drake.
Am I going first?
Do you want to go first or second?
It doesn't matter to me.
All right, I'll go first on this
All
one.
right, we'll go back and forth.
So welcome back. It's been a long time since we've talked about it. I put the Winnie at number 3. I think the Winnie's probably the third best weapon in the game,
Which
even though I
one?
just haven't been playing any of them.
Any of them?
I
C
think,
or
yeah,
not?
I think it's if we're going variant, I think the best variant's probably the Swift, or
Okay.
hot take, the what's it called? The one with the little pop-up scope.
Aperture.
Aperture, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think the aperture is really good, but I just think people forget it exists.
Do you like the sight? The aperture sight?
It's fine,
Because
but
most
able
people
to.
can't stand it. That I've noticed.
It's okay for. The thing is, it's really nice if you're playing high velocity and they're at
Yes, I
long
guess that's
range.
fair. Yeah, and you're far enough away.
It'd be. Let me get this straight. It would be absolutely awful, except it's toggleable. You can toggle it on and off.
Right.
Otherwise, it'd be heinous.
Right.
Um,
Never, ever, ever.
so that's number 3. Number 2
Okay.
would be I'd go Mosin. If we're going preference, I'd go Obres. I really love the Obres,
Okay.
but I think the Mosin's the second best, and then the third one is the best gun in the game is Lebel Marksman. I think
Okay.
and I specify
No complaint
Marksman because
there.
I think with the ammo changes recently, I think the Lebel and the Mosin are pretty similar. But I think the Mosin about slightly because I like the sight a little bit more. It gives it a little bit more. You can see a little bit more around it,
Okay. Yeah.
but it's not a huge difference anymore. I think it's nice. There's like it's actually like a reference thing, especially because the Lebel gets 5 shots or 10 shots without reloading, which can be nice. I'm just a reload goblin.
Reload after
I
every
take
shot.
oh yeah, every single time. I love it. You get to see the animation of him like throwing the bullet in. Who doesn't want that?
Right. I mean, especially if you have a bullet grubber and you can just like you watch him catch it, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, clean. I'm not even in like
Look,
you're an animator and I'm not, but I still
oh yeah,
love that animation. It's just like, oh, so good.
it's really nice.
It's
Like
super
look,
clean.
the real benefit of bullet grubber isn't reloading bullets without
Losing
losing
them.
them. It's getting to see that animation
Yes.
whenever you want after
They're
firing a
so
shot.
clean. Hey, Hunt,
It's so fun.
Crytek, whoever did the animations for bullet grubber reloads, give that person a raise. They deserve it,
Please.
man. It's so good.
I think like one of the most satisfying things is reloading the Terminus hand cannon with bullet grubber, so he catches the bullet and then he does the little spin at the end. Like
Yes.
that's just fabulous. I love it. It's great. All right, what are your weapons, Drake?
Okay, so my hot take isn't till number 1.
I know what
Okay.
it is.
Do you? Are you sure? Are you sure you know what it is?
I think so. I think so.
Okay, it might surprise you. I don't know. My number 3 best weapons, and this is personal best, like ones that I like.
Yeah, I would say mine ain't necessarily personal. My personal list would probably be Spokes.
Objectively.
Yeah, my subjective ones would probably be Spokes, Uppercut, Oblivion, because
Okay.
not because I'm a long ammo boy like all the time, but because Uppercut and Oblivion let me play full shotguns.
Okay.
And Spokes are just really good. So
Um. Okay. So my number 3 is just only because every time I take it, I seem to do pretty well with.
Hmm.
and that's the Winnie C. Marksman specifically. I don't know why, but the Winnie C. Marksman, I always seem to do really well with that gun, and I don't know
Have
why.
you have you played it more since they changed the headshot range for it? Because that was such a
Ironically,
game changer for
no.
that gun.
Ironically, no, because it's better now,
Because
right? It's a higher effective
yeah,
range.
I've always with that gun. It was so infuriating to get a headshot from like 77 meters, just being like just outside, because like that's right where you'll be for that scope, and then
Right.
you gotta like toe that stupid line, and then now they're like, no, you get the headshot, it's fine. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
thank you.
150. I think what's funny though is like all the times I can remember doing well with the Winnie C Marksman was close range combat, but still using the sight. And I say close range meaning like, within a compound, right?
Hmm.
So like 50 meters
Yeah,
ish, um, or
I
or
think
or
50 to
closer.
75 is like happy place.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, I think it's because if you don't take any special ammo, the bullet travel, you're actually it's
Hmm.
I won't say like hit scan, but you're next to a point and click adventure with it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just still fast
The
enough.
the other thing I really like about it, it's very synergistic in a weird way with the Vetterli Marksman, where having the same muzzle velocities or almost the same makes it really nice to be able to just switch between those two
Right.
without like the big learning. Like if you go from Winnie Marksman to LaBelle Marksman, there's going to be some adjustment. But if you go from Winnie to Vetterli, there's a very similar playstyle to it, which is
Right.
nice.
My number two, I don't think anyone's gonna really complain too much. But is any variant of including the base, the Berthy. It's just a good gun. It's
Yeah,
just it's just objectively, in my
I
opinion, like is that that's like, you can't do that. Objectively, in my opinion, you can't do that, right? That's not a
yeah, no,
thing.
that's
That's
because
contradictory.
objectively it's kind of the thing of you're trying to take your opinion out of it, right?
Right.
Like so, like
Like
if I was to say like
I
that
guess in
is
my opinion then.
yeah. Yeah, so
But
it'd be in your because I was gonna put the Bertha down instead of the Mosin because of the price difference. I think it pushes it there. I'm like I wasn't sure if that was just a body preference because I prefer the Bertha to the Mosin, just because
right.
I don't know because I don't think the sight's good. Sorry, I don't think the sights are as good because of like skewing more. It doesn't get as big of ammo capacity in the per mm, clip. You don't because it actually is a clip. I almost said magazine, but it is a clip. Um, and you don't have the same muzzle velocity, also just a slightly faster fire rate. But I love that faster fire rate, and I love the
Yeah.
reload animations and all that. So I'm
Yep.
like, I prefer it, but I'm like, I was scared to put it there over the Mosin
I
because of
mean,
that.
you went objective. I was going more subjective, I think.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with you subjectively fully.
okay. I mean, I think there are objective reasons why the Bertha is superior, but like the ones that
Yeah.
you've mentioned, frankly.
I'm
But
I'm
yeah,
surprised at how well they managed to make the long ammo guns like have advantages and disadvantages.
yeah, they did a pretty good job at that balance.
Yeah, like the only like it's the Mosin, especially with for the longest time it was Mosin Labelle, and it's like okay, these are pretty close to being interchangeable. Mosin's kind of just an upgrade, but like now even that they're like okay, do you want the 10 rounds or do you want like the stripper clip reload? Do you which site do you like more? And it's like, oh, these really feel like side grades. And it's like, okay, do you
Yeah.
want faster fire rate? But do you really want that faster fire rate, but lose that one tapping downed hunters? Crack. So it's neat.
Yeah. And then my number one, which I think is the most, I have a feeling it's going to be called a heinous hot take here. Oh, I'm almost hesitant to say it. Subjectively, Centennial
Uh-huh.
Shorty Silencer. I love that gun. I do
I'll be honest.
so well
I
with
thought you were
that
gonna.
gun.
I thought you were going to say, and I can't believe neither one of these. Because this is every time I play with you, it's stinking I want to say sign and shape here with the Springfield or hunting boat. You take it all the time, so I'm surprised it's not one of those two.
You said what? The Springfield and the.
You always bring Springfield and or hunting bow whenever I
I
play with
do
you.
love me the hunting bow. I love the
Yeah, that's
hunting
what I thought
bow.
was. I thought it was going to be one of those two being one. I can see
Um.
the shorty. The thing with shorty is, and this is purely a body issue,
Okay.
is 400 muzzle velocity is not bad, but I pick up that gun and I go, ah, yes, a Centennial point and click adventure, right?
Right.
I never compensate for the for the slower muzzle velocity ever, and I can't hit anything. I've got mastery on every single gun in the game now in like the book of weapons except the Krag sniper, and I just got the shorty silencer, and I'll be real honest, got it because of AI.
Right, you
I
just
kind of
killed
like
all the
which
AI.
which is really weird because I love the normal shorty. Like I play the normal shorty all the time.
That's
But
wild. The the I will say I pair it with poison most of the time because
mhm,
for some reason people don't take antidote shots, which I mean I tell you guys every episode to take your drugs, but you
I
know,
still don't
fair enough. I mean you do you, but you know it.
unless I'm memeing with poison.
Right, yeah, you don't want to hurt yourself with your own poison clouds and stuff. But
Yeah.
um, I had a match with I think it was Tom, and it was just a duos regular match before the event, and I took the shorty the Centennial
Mhm,
shorty silence, and I was in Pelican on the upper floor, and I was
mhm,
looking towards the northeast Forked River,
sure.
that direction that comes up the hill
Mhm.
with all the trees.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There was two guys coming like charging up at us, and I guess because I had the silencer they couldn't tell where I was, but I was taking shots at this one guy and he was out in the
Silencers are
open.
good.
He wasn't even hiding, like he wasn't trying to hide. He just heard the shots hitting around him and he just kept running, and I was like, why
It is.
can't I hit this
I
guy?
do a similar thing with the
Well,
silencers because you're like, I don't know where they are, so I just want to get to some sort of cover.
I could see
So I
this
just
guy
keep running
clear as
straight.
day, and I mean he wasn't that far away from me either, so it was kind of embarrassing,
Yeah.
frankly. And I was missing every shot, and I was like, "What is happening?" So I like mentally shook myself up, like, "What the heck are you doing, dude?" Lined up my shot properly, got a hit, and from that point forward, I've noticed I do so well with that dang gun.
Because
I love it.
it's
It's so good.
no, something I noticed is Winnie Marksman and because you would list to Winnie Marksman and Centennial Shorty, which I believe are both 400 muzzle velocity, right?
I can check. I don't recall off the top of my head.
Because I know the Springfield's 5.9, something like that. But yeah, because if the thing I'm noticing is if you take Springy Bleed,
Well, that's
um,
interesting.
if you take Springy Bleed,
Mhm.
Centennial Silenced, or Winnie Marksman, those are all very similar muzzle velocities.
Um, so just so you're aware, the Centennial
Aren't they?
Shorty is 540,
Or it's 540 for the silenced?
and the silenced no, for the regular. The
Oh no
silenced
no yeah yeah
is
yeah
390.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, okay.
there's not you won't ever notice a difference of 10
I know.
between stuff. But
No, I
yeah,
know.
typically it's around 100 when
I just
people
didn't
start thinking.
realize the Shorty
Which
non-silence was that fast.
we played a Star Shell round in fort using the training thing. Are you aware that Star Shell travels at 75 meters a second?
That's interesting you say that because we've done a
It
lot of
is
that recently. Is
it is
Starshell Lamats.
ungodly slow. It's
Yeah.
so slow.
Yeah. Oh,
We
it's so
played
fun though.
we all took dual Lamats and
And
Alamo,
Shorty?
and what we
Oh.
qu- and we realized in a world of Alamo Star Shell, dual Lamat Star Shell lane thing is what we learned. Because you just get the two shots, and
It's so
it makes
funny
life so much better.
because you and I hadn't talked about that, but my brother and I came up with quote unquote this idea to
Yeah,
use nothing but star shell. So we did dual mats and Romero hand cannon because we didn't have
and
quartermaster,
mid flagons, yeah.
and just sit there and shoot at each other. It's fun.
It's so
It's
bad. It's
stressful.
so bad. Yeah, it's really annoying too because like just half the match is just stopping burning.
Yeah. Well, I gotta reload. Hold on.
Yep. It was really funny because like we there'd be like shots where like we'd hit each other once and we'd both completely run out of ammo, and then we'd be like, all right, the correct answer here is just to charge with a knife, but let us go in the corner and spend 5 minutes
Oh,
stopping, burning, and reloading.
but we were doing
But
it with 50 hit points. Like we would go in with 50 hit points
yeah,
purposefully, and
that's
so we could two tap each other.
I think that's a big thing though. With muzzle velocity, it's such a thing. Not necessarily even in one being better. Like yes, higher muzzle velocity is objectively better, but if you only play stuff in the range of 400,
That's what you're
then
used to.
you can be better at playing like then Martini might be better for you specifically than Spokes because you're used to leading it.
Right.
Like if you go from that's the reason like a lot of times I'll play Winfield or not sorry, I'll play Martini over Winfield is because I'm an aggressive player, so like to push, and I'm used to the muzzle velocity because Winnie. So I'm like, oh yeah, fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think that's an interesting thing to touch on. But okay. Here's where we'll probably here's I think what the one where we probably will get hot takes because
Oh
this is
yeah,
the
worst
things I noticed.
weapons.
Oh, we don't you want to go to worst weapons
Oh,
next?
I thought that's what the order was. What's the next one?
Oh, you're
You
correct. I made the list and I skipped that. We're
I
gonna go to
I
worst.
put
We're
my
gonna go to
list in
worst.
the order you gave it to me.
Yeah, because I'm stupid. We're gonna go to best consumables, then we're gonna come back to worst weapons.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
start marking what we've done then, so I can visually remember.
I made this list and I just skipped it because I sent it to him in a Discord message and then I wrote it down on an index card.
I see
So
you looking
that's my
down. Yeah. So,
yeah.
all right, consumables.
All right. Consumables. I'm just gonna go through my list because I don't.
Yeah, fair.
It's a very quick one. Okay, number 3 is frags. I think they're actually the best consumable to use, but their
Okay.
price tag keeps them from being higher for me.
Is this
Like I don't
going?
bring them anymore.
Is this going number 1 to 3 or 3 to 1?
This is number 3 for me.
Okay, 3. Got it.
Number 2 is just plain old sticks of dynamite
Okay.
because they're fine in combat. You can cycle them and not feel bad about it, and
They're
that's
cheap.
nice. They're stupid cheap.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of they don't do anything really well, but they do everything okay.
Yeah.
So you
It's the
you're
all
never
arounder.
you're never particularly happy to bring a stick of dynamite or to get one, but you're never like, God dang it, you
Right.
know.
You're never
Um,
super upset about it.
yeah. And then my number 1 is I almost put the med kit, but that's just the deployable med kit because I love it.
That's
But
yeah,
the
that's
issue with
fair.
that is it's terrible in solos. But I do think I really really love the toolbox. I've been playing like 3 boxes and a bit shot lately because it's funny to me.
That's fair.
And I think my teammate is gonna kill me if they hear drop the lunchbox and then ping it 3 times again.
But
I
don't
think the only
worry,
reason they
I
haven't
pinged each one.
yeah, I think the only reason they haven't like dropped me when I put down when I do it is because they're like, well, I do get a respin out
I
of
do
it.
get a
So
respin, yeah.
'cause I think if it was like don't take it if I don't have pack mule typically unless I'm playing like
Mhm.
trios and like buddies have high level hunters or something. But like if you have pack mule and you're playing in duos or trios, it's so good. Like you get shot, you're like okay, so I use my medkit charge, I put down my lunchbox, and I'm full.
Right.
I get my medkit charge back. I know what I get, and I get my consumable back. It's so nice. And then you go,
Yeah,
hey,
that's a good point.
throw your frag bomb and hope for the best, and then grab another consumable.
Yeah,
And then you can get like the stuff that you wouldn't normally bring, like stamina shots or antidote shots, or
right.
like something weird like a high bomb. It's really nice. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's
Or
fair.
you can do trap thing, which
Oh,
by
the
the
trap
way,
thing, yeah.
I was punished for the trap thing. The last time I played Hunt, maybe not last time, but like there was one night where I died, and I'm not exaggerating. I died 6 matches in a row to deadly traps from enemy teams.
Jeez.
And it wasn't like pushing into boss layer because like that would have been my own fault. But it'd be like just doing a rotation. I just die. I just, I got so one of them was in the middle of the woods. Like it was just between 2 compounds. Like it was just in the middle of the woods. I'm like, why was there a trap? Why was it here?
Yeah.
So yeah. But
I had
all
to
right, what do
change
you
something
got?
because I just realized. Um, best consumables.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3, surprise, surprise. I kind of have 2 in this slot, honestly, because they're kind of similar items. Um, antidote and vit shot. Best consumables.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with the I can't I'm an idiot. Yeah, Vit shot. I here's the thing. I thought Vit shot's so clear. Yeah, Vit should have been on there somewhere. I don't know if I agree with antidote shot because I never beat them, but
I mean,
if I
hey,
take I mean I just talked about dying to deadly traps. I could
right?
have fixed that.
You could have fixed it. It's fine. It's just I kind of feel like vit shot is a necessity, so it kind of makes it a best. You know,
Hmm.
even if it's just one weak one, you have something that's a quick heal if you need it. And the antidote is just because I mean I'm a nut for not taking poison damage because I can't stand being poisoned in this game. Oh, just take Mithridist. That's like, oh, fair, but like you
Yeah.
still get poisoned. You know, it's you're still gonna get poisoned with that trait.
I mean
So, nah.
I prefer I was gonna say I prefer Mithridatus, but the problem is they've changed a bunch of and I don't know if it's with adding in other traits that I really like with like the fire ammo changes.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to take Mithridatus over Salveskin and stuff now.
right. Yeah,
With like so there's a bunch of weird things there. I think they're pretty similar. I think it comes down to which one you prefer. Because
right.
like I would so like I hardcore prefer prefer conduit over stamp shots.
Right.
But and then antidote shots. It's not that I dislike them. It's just I'd prefer to bring something else. The big thing for me is the price on them.
I just feel like
Since
Go ahead, sorry.
it's like you take the small one, it's affordable, but if you take the big one, it's really expensive. And I'm like, yeah, I could take a lunchbox.
Right. I just feel like Conduit. Conduit's fantastic, but if you're not, at the front of your group, with a lot of our friends, we all rush. You know what I mean? We speed run hunt.
Yeah,
That's what I learned.
my friend
last
friend
night.
group knows that, but my friend group knows that like every single time. So like they're
Just
like
let
they
you
don't
get
even
it.
take conduit anymore. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm a
See,
little
and
butt.
that's fair, but because I'm a butt.
Yeah,
So it's like you have to be either at the front of the group or have your teammates be cool with you. Just even if they get there
yeah.
first, to not pick up the clue just so you can. It's like,
The thing with conduit too is
you
it's
know.
really good for solos.
Oh, it's fantastic
It's
for
really
solos. Oh
good. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's I do not disagree with that entirely. And if we did a top traits list, which I don't think we included,
Mhm.
I would for solos I would put that in my list probably.
Yeah.
But
All right.
um,
What are your 2 and 1?
two, this might be a little controversial. It's also a slash, meaning two kind of
Yeah,
meet my
yeah.
criteria
They're
for
very
second to
similar
second.
things. Yeah.
Well, they're not similar things, but they kind of match my what I think are best in slot for my number
Okay.
two. You know what I mean? So frag, like you said, for
Mhm.
3, and poison bomb. Yeah, I said it. I like a 5-minute cloud of step in here and you can't heal, you take damage,
I
and you just can't come through unless you want to deal with not taking damage and not being able to heal. 5
find
minutes
it
worth.
funny that if the hunt player base agreed with you, your 3 and 2 slot would cancel each other out.
Yeah, no, I agree. But nobody listens to me and they don't take their antidote shots. But there's actually I have one friend who actually agrees with me and will take antidote shots every time, and that's Papa Brown. Every time. It'll be me, him, and whoever our third person is.
I
Third person will run ahead while we're sitting there
I
shooting
will
up
say
our antidote
my
shots.
a big part of 2 reason why I don't take antidote shots is because you can get them from reshuffles.
That's fair. Especially in your
If
case,
they
since you
remove
take
them,
3 freaking lunch
yeah.
boxes, you might
See,
get
like
one, and that's fair.
I might
That's a fair argument.
like I'm effectively taking antidote shots now.
You think
I mean,
you might
I
be.
may be. We'll find out.
You
It
might
could be
get
3. I did play that night, and I did get 4 flashes while playing a sniper, and I
or
was like,
worse,
well,
6
this
chaos.
right. Yeah, okay, I guess it was a thing. But I almost split my frag with the I thought you were gonna split it with the dynamite bundle because I think the dynamite bundle's
Dynamite
better
bundles
if you
are
take into account
phenomenal.
price. But the issue is that the frag's just better, but they fixed it for price, so yeah.
Right.
What's your number 1?
My number 1 is
Concertina bomb?
Concertina Bomb.
Concertina bomb. I Concertina bomb. It's
How'd you
so
guess?
good. It does so much because like it blocks stuff, and then
Yep.
you can block revives, you can stop revives, and you can block off areas. My issue with it is it's so bad and just strictly killing
Oh
or
yeah,
causing pressure is the only reason why it wasn't on there for me.
that's totally fair. It's like hunting bow. If you take
Hmm.
because I like the hunting bow. If you take the
Concertina arrows.
concertina arrows, it's I mean you don't got to think
Do you
about it. You just
go?
light attack the ground at a door and now it's blocked. You know.
You go hunting bow with hunting bow? Do you go concertina normal?
With hunting bow, my normal actually is 1 slot of regular ammo and then frag arrows.
Oh,
In the second
okay.
one, frag is insane, man. I
Yeah,
killed
I do.
I killed a
I get-
solo from full health to his last bar, if not totally dead, in 40 seconds.
They're one of the so there's a couple guns in the game which I think are really insane if you play them a lot and get good with them.
Right.
Being the nitro, the avto, the hunting bow, and the hand crossbow. There's another one, but I can't remember what it was right now. It's like the weird. They have weird things about them, but if you get used to that,
Yeah,
then they're really, really busted.
they're phenomenal.
Yeah, I've never I can't get used to the frag arrows, and I just basically got to know the learning curve of peeing away money. So I
You know
basically stopped
what
practicing.
I've done recently is I'll go in
Mm.
with this 50 hit point thing. It's just for fun, the 50 hit point thing. But all of us will take bows with nothing but frag
Mhm.
arrows and just try to kill each other with it. It's actually a lot of fun
Yeah,
because of you just constantly revive and whatever.
I think
but like it's fun because you can actually learn how to like the quick draw of the bow and the long draw, and learn, you know, how high you got to look to lob it to that point, and you know, actually killing players, even
Yeah.
if they're your friends, is helpful because you're like, okay, that actually
Learn,
landed.
just learning about how much damage you're doing to people too.
Yes, that too.
Like we were playing something where Riley tagged me from outside fort with a Springfield Marksman bleed, and he was like hoo hoo hoo, and I'm like, dude, that did like
No
10 points of
damage.
damage and bleed, and he's
Yeah.
like, oh, that is good to know for playing, and I'm like, yeah, I actually didn't realize it, like that's how little it did at that range too. Like,
You know what? What is the
ooh.
effective range of a Springfield?
It would
212.
have killed me if it would have killed me if it was a headshot,
Yeah, yeah,
but it
yeah.
was just a body shot. And so I was like, dude, I was like, you did it smaller. But yeah, there's a bunch of gunning like if you just play them, but I think variety is the spice of hunt. So
It is 100%. But yeah,
okay,
that's my top best consumables.
all right. This is just I good podcast, probably just us upsetting people. It's gonna be great. Let us know how we're wrong in the comments.
Yes.
Um, all
Fight
right,
us.
worst weapons.
Worst weapons. Okay.
Worst weapons.
Now, is this objectively worse, or is this ones that we don't like used against us?
This is
Or
objectively
rather
worse because
ones.
the ones that
Okay,
we
go ahead.
well, if you want to go ones that you're not that you don't like, that's fine.
Well, you have
My
the last one that you mentioned that I didn't finish till right before
mhm.
we started. That one is kind of
Yeah, that's what
subjective
I'm thinking
worst
for that
weapons.
one.
That's subjective worst weapons, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So objective worst weapons. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So the one I want to put this is gonna be a really hot take. I want to put the Avto at number 3
Okay.
because of all the nerfs that's gotten hit. With the ammo changes, its recoil changes. It seems really bad right now, but I don't feel strongly enough to actually commit to that. But what makes me think that is I legitimately have not seen the Avto since the nerf.
Yeah, that's fair.
I played it once, dropped like 2 ammo boxes, refilled like half of it, and then just was like, okay, this is
This isn't
mhm,
good.
yeah. So it's the thing of it's probably still really good for people who used the Avto, and I doubt it actually
Right.
fixed too much of the problem there. But it's been nerfed so hard. Like it and the Dorch have just they've gotten whacked by the Nerf stick many times, and so
Right.
they're both in places where like ooh. So that's kind of in like weird place because it's the thing of I don't know if there's another gun there that I would put because it used to be the Centennial, but they got buffed. It's it would be the drilling, but there's so many people who just like 1-2 tap so quickly with it.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't sure what to put at the 3 slot. That was the one where I'm like, I'm sure there's something that I'm just forgetting about,
That's kind of
but
where I'm at, honestly, because my number 3.
and like I put Springfield there, but Springfield speed fixes it.
Right.
And so like if we're going base ammo, Springy, but um
You
the
know
two
what?
that I
I'm
am
gonna change my third one.
my second one is bow, and it's just because I feel like most people are bad with bow.
But that's more of a
But
subjective thing.
yeah, but it's the thing
So,
of I count it still as being bad because the learning curve. The learning curve is
okay,
so
that's
steep,
fair.
and you have to like it takes more commit than most other weapons.
I did just say
Like
going
yeah,
into the training ground.
somebody, but it like yeah, somebody bad with a Winnie is bad with a Winnie, but like they'll get better with it faster and get to the point where it's good faster
Right.
than you will with a bow. Um, my one though that I'm confident on. The Bornheim's bad. I really want the Bornheim to be bad, but the Bornheim's bad. I'm sorry, Riley. The Bornheim's bad.
Wait, Riley likes the Bornheim?
Riley's likes the Bornheim, and he's good. He makes it good in the way because he clicks heads. He plays it as a head clicker, and it's
Okay.
really touching to me that he plays like shotgun Bornheim, and then like somehow makes it work. But it doesn't change my opinion.
Um,
The one that makes me really upset is the
380,
Bornheim match.
a 62-meter
Well, it
effective range,
shouldn't
74 damage. I mean,
it should be bad,
it
but it's
shouldn't
the
be
thing of you
bad, but
needing 3 tap is really rough. its ammo reserves are so rough, especially with. I don't know if it's gotten worse or better with the ammo changes because you get more back from
Right,
restocks.
right.
So I think it's gotten better.
It's also
But
146
I
bucks.
almost yeah, it's expensive. I almost said, um, especially with the ammo changes because I mostly play dual Bornheims because I think it's fun. I don't
Especially
look at
with
it, I think it's
Ensign.
fun. Yeah, but and the ammo changes really hurt that. But I think the normal Bornheim has actually gotten better.
Okay.
Um, the one that really upsets me is the Bornheim match because I really want to love the Bornheim match because fast fire rate, two taps within 20 meters, assuming you hit upper chest and anything else. If you hit anything else, Bornheim match is angry with you.
Right.
Um, but the fast fire rate needing the three tap and the low ammo reserves makes it so rough, and people are like, "Oh, click Headson." Yeah, but it's only got 65 effective range for that. Now, the high muzzle obviously helps with that, but, like, if you're doing it for anything other than head clicking, it's rough. And a
Right.
lot of times, it's like I don't wanna pair it with something else compact ammo because then they're fighting for using them at the same point.
Right.
I don't wanna use it with long ammo because then I struggle with ammo capacity. I don't wanna take Uwu with it. I don't wanna take fire ammo even though because it's fun,
Right.
because then, man, am I ever gonna be able to restock this thing. So it's just in a weird place where it's, like, just expensive enough to be rough.
Yeah.
The issue with it too is if they make it cheaper, then the place it's good 2 points, right? I get 3 points. One, if you can hit all 3 of your body taps, it's really good. Option 2 is if you can hit your headshots, it's really good. And then the third option that we haven't talked about is if you can hit your follow-up shot from a Spokes or a Martini or something that
Yeah,
did a
yeah.
lot of damage, because it does have that fast travel time and fast follow-up shot. So it's
Right.
like if we make it too cheap, suddenly the Bornheim goes from being annoying and kind of bad to being like, stop being Spokes Bornheimed, please.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Stop being the new
So
meta.
yeah. So it's
Okay.
it's I think it might be preference being in there a little bit, but I don't
Well,
think you see the Bornheim a lot for a reason.
yeah,
Because it's
I'd
not
agree with
that
that.
expensive. Because it's expensive, but it's not like Dorch. Like I see Dorch more than I see Bornheim.
I agree. Yeah. I did
So
that last
yeah.
night before, and
Especially let's look at the Dorch P versus the Bornheim match. The Bornheim match gets both the stability buffs and damage buffs. The Dorch P only gets the stability buff, and it's still way better, even in the range you want to be for him. Just
wait.
because because it's got those 20 shots, you can two tap
Okay.
at better range. Because the Bornheim
It doesn't
stops
travel that
two
much
tap
faster.
after. Yeah, but the Bornheim stops two tapping after 20 meters.
Oh,
With
yeah.
the Dorch two taps up to 30 or 40 because it's got a bit more damage. Because they up the
Okay.
damage for it just enough that like it two taps at about 20 meters. It might be a little bit higher, but it's
Okay.
they updated it just enough to be so able to two tap as like a close range option.
I got you.
That I want to say like recently, it's been like a year since that.
I definitely have seen more Dolch lately than I have Bornheim. That's for sure.
Yeah, which is weird because I still think Dorch is in the kind of. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I think it's in a much happier place than it was before.
Right.
Like I don't get as tilted by it anymore.
Uh, Worst
All
weapons.
right, what do you got?
So originally, before I told you I changed my answer while you were going over yours.
Mhm.
Originally, before I changed my answer, I actually had Terminus, but I don't think I put enough thought into it because Terminus. I feel like regular Terminus is not great. It's probably my top 5
It's
worst.
okay. I really enjoy regular Terminus. The one that really upsets me is Terminus with Penny. Is that it to play? I think the Penny is easily the most tilting weapon for me to play. Because look, I also the other one upset me like the Nitro and the Avto, but I recognize that's because I'm bad with them.
Right.
The Terminus Penny will just be like sometimes I'll kill somebody from 20 meters,
Right.
like once in a blue moons, then it makes me wanna play it,
And then the
even though
next
I
4
know that's
matches with
not how
Penny
it.
are just
And
garbage.
then you'd be like 5 meters away and you get no hitters, like after emptying the entire thing, you're just like, what the frick? Why?
And now I'm dead.
Flechette though, but Flechette, oh, it's good.
Dragon's
Terminus
Breath
Flechette, so
though.
fun.
Dragon's Breath though.
I think it's good.
And then you get levering with it? Yeah.
Wait. You think no?
Terminus Dragon's Breath with levering is fun, dude. I have to
Oh,
admit,
it's super fun. It's
it
super
is
fun.
so much fun because you hit them once, so they and
Mhm.
assuming that you catch them on fire with the first hit, which usually happens,
That's a
but
that's a big ask for the terminus. That's a big ask for the terminus.
this is assuming you're within a decent range that you will likely set them on fire.
Eh,
This is what I'm
I've
talking about, just so you're aware.
it's the problem with it is the range that sets people on fire. The bullets travel so slow. It's just like 130
I
or
mean,
something. Is like
you do gotta
trying to hit
you gotta
them.
lead really well. That's true.
And then they just like slow down at the last minute because of course they do for some reason
Right.
every time. Yeah.
Usually because they're aiming at your head with ADS, so they walk slower and you miss, and then they kill you because they're ADSing your
You're like,
head.
oh, they're running, so I aim here, and then like, right, what did I go? Oh, my camera's up here. Okay, so like they're like right here, and so they're like, oh, I'm running at them, and then they're like, oh, stop, gotta slow down to aim, and then of course you fire here and miss
Yeah,
them because
and
they
miss
slow down at the
entirely,
last minute.
and they're aiming
Oh,
at your head at that point, and you're dead. Um,
yeah.
yeah, but I changed it. So Terminus is
Mhm.
not in my number 3 slot. It's either 4 or 5 or 6 or something. But um, Springy Compact. I'm sorry, Rat, because I know you're gonna listen to this. Rat
I like
loves
spring
the
com.
Springy Compact.
Is this
I've
extreme bleed ammo?
I guess it has to, because the bleed ammo just helps
Okay.
it that much.
Yeah, because I like it with the. I don't. I think the damage drop off or like
It's the
low damage or
sway.
whatever. It does.
It's the
Yeah.
sway. I can't do it, man.
The weird thing with it is it makes you want the it being medium ammo and a one shot makes it feel like it should be a Spoke or a Martini or Springfield where you take it from medium to long range.
Hmm.
But the weird thing is I don't think you do that. I think it's
No.
close to medium because that's I normally play it as like a secondary. So like if I'm playing I play a lot with Bertha. So like I fire my shots and then like it's my mid range one. Like anytime I win like a compound, like that'll be my first shot with
Okay.
bleed. Um, but yeah, at range it's this way's rough.
Yeah.
The one I should have put this on a later thing, but being killed by the Deadeye from a range is so upsetting because you know the sway there,
Yeah.
and you're just like, how did you do
I
that?
mean, do you know numerically what the sway comes down to with steady aim for the Deadeye
No,
compact?
it helps a lot, but it's the sway still put off on it.
I mean, it is pretty rough for sure, but
Yeah,
I just wonder if that helps enough to make it
I
worth
think
attempting.
the weird thing with steady hand on it is it makes it sway makes it good than for like being a compound sniper. But the issue is then in a compound you're waiting for the steady hand to proc, which you don't necessarily want to do as much in a compound because the other people are gonna be playing more aggressively too. So
Right, right.
it's like it's not good at range because you still have enough wiggle, but it's not as necessarily as good up close because you have to wait. So
Right,
it's
right, right.
so
It's
I say that some people are really good with it somehow. I don't understand. I'm
yeah.
gonna run into somebody who plays like Hunting Bow, Springfield, Compact Deadeye, and they're just gonna bully me with it, and
Right.
I'm just gonna be like, "How are you doing
It'll be
this?"
with frag arrows too, not even regular arrows.
And then and their buddy's gonna headshot me from like 60 meters with dualies,
Of
as
course,
one does.
always. Yeah, because that's normal. That should happen.
What's your number one?
My number one, um, wait, I haven't been number 2 yet because that was
Oh, I
technically
thought that was the compact. Oh,
no.
because
Well,
you.
Terminus slash compact was my thing. I
Oh,
switched my
okay.
number 3 to be compact.
See, I felt bad about cheating when I'm like, okay, I put Spokes and Martini in the same place because they're kind of the same gun. Drake is just like, here are two completely different
Well,
ones.
no, no, no. It's I, I guess I'm not
No,
thinking
I
about it
understand.
objectively,
We
but
just we thought of
I
different
I
criteria,
changed my
which kind of
answer. I changed my answer is what it was.
yeah.
Before I turned in my test, I changed it.
You were like walking up and then like you
I
changed
was
it a
like, oh,
bit
wait a
before you
minute,
turned
wait a
in because
minute. Yeah,
you saw the
yeah,
look the teacher gave you. You're like, oh wait, no. The
yeah.
teacher
No,
you checked it over and you go, you're right. Number 17 was D.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Precisely. I might catch some flack for this. I don't know. But my number 2 is Nitro. I understand it's a
I
powerful gun.
I
I
I almost put Nitro on.
I can't stand the Nitro. Now this might be a skill issue. I'm fully aware of that. I've been told that plenty of times. The AFTO and Nitro, it's just a skill issue.
Yeah,
It's like, all right, fine, you might be right, but I doesn't change the
it's
fact that it's not a great gun.
it's the same argument with the bow that I had, where it's like, yes, it's a skill issue, but to get past the skill issue, it's such a pain.
Yeah.
And unlike the bow, which is like $50, the nitro is what, 1100?
I think it's 150 or 1015.
Okay, so it's a thousand. It's you can
Yeah,
play
1015
what 20 hunting bows before you lose one nitro,
with
right?
frag arrows.
Yeah, yeah. I actually I think you might be right. I think it might beat out hunting bow because they're very similar, but it's
But just
the
not,
like,
yeah, if you can find the money for it. But I guess if you never prestige, then you might have the money for it.
the issue is just the aperture.
Yeah,
It's
honestly,
so
it
rough.
really is. If the aperture was not on that gun, people would be playing that all the time. The price
And
doesn't
it's like
matter.
the hip fire is consistent enough that like it's almost effective, but it's just enough that you're like you can't quite rely on it.
Right.
So,
Well, it's actually funny you say that. I saw a short video someone posted on Reddit, and look at me on Reddit looking at hunt content that's not ours. Um, he walked in behind people with a nitro, but he hip fired. It was like in the building. He hip fired
mhm.
and both shots and missed, and ended up dying to the
Yep.
guy. And they were like, he was like, "This gun is so bad" or whatever, and everyone was commenting like, "Yeah, you hip fired." And I
Yeah.
can't disagree with them. Like, I don't like that he got
It,
so much heat for it, but it's just like,
no, he shouldn't have.
but
Because
it's
it's the
also
thing
like,
if you
within
the
10 to 20 meters ish. I don't remember exactly how far away he was from them. I feel
yeah
like
the
one of
best
those
way to
shots
do it.
should have at least glanced.
No, I agree. Probably the best way to play it is to do most of the sighting with the sights and then do like a quick scope. But it's
Okay.
like that's a pretty unique thing for that gun because you
Right.
don't want to like most guns like you just want to do iron sights like specs you can iron sighting it's fine. But with
Yeah.
that one like you don't want to use the hip fire because it's just inconsistent enough that like you can get crap like that.
Right.
But
It's
the
not.
aperture
There's no
sight's
spread to it.
so
Like,
zoomed in.
it's technically a
Yeah.
rifle, so you have
It's
just.
it's it's like trying to lever terminate slugs. It's like you can do it, but like
eh,
you're putting your
It's
life and
not
the hunt
smart.
odds there. Yeah.
Yeah. You.
The nitro's a freaking weird gun. Let's be honest.
Yeah. You're gonna like my number one though.
What's your number one?
Bornheim.
Okay.
That's why I busted out laughing when you said Bornheim, because that's what I've got for mine.
We've done it, boys.
I can't stand the Bornheim, man. Like, I mean, I want to like it. I love the reload,
Mm-hmm,
the animation,
mm-hmm.
and how fast it reloads if you empty the whole thing. Because what, stripper clip? I think
Yep.
it's
Yep.
fantastic. But man, it's bad. Like, everything else about it is just not good. It's
I want to
I'm
love
sorry,
the match,
Bornheim
man.
babies, but no, no.
Yeah. I think
Just no.
we. Okay. Here's a question. Here's
Okay.
a question. Would Bornheim FMJ be fix the Bornheim some?
What does the Bornheim typically do? Or sorry, what does FMJ do to the ammo type normally? Does it doesn't lower
Lowers
damage, does it?
It lowers damage drop off and it increases penetration while slowing muzzle velocity.
Slowing muzzle velocity, you say?
But it's already
Slowing.
got a really good, but it's already got a really good muzzle velocity. So then, like, you're increasing the headshot range.
Are we going
And so,
match or
like,
are we
without the
going?
firing, either one.
'Cause, I mean,
Do you think it'd fix either?
Bornheim base is
I
380. I don't think
it
FMJ
might.
would. I mean, at close range, I think it would, because you could just pow, pow,
Mhm.
pow, pow through a wall and kill someone. You know what I mean? Like at point blank range, muzzle velocity really doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, I think that was
But
the longer headshot range might make it good. But
maybe.
then it's sort of like you're paying $200.
Yeah, and that's for it's 150 for the
Yeah.
base, and what
Which
FMJ is
speaking of
typically
FMJ,
what 50. Yeah,
speaking of FMJ, I want to totally derail us.
go ahead.
Because I totally miss on the FMJ Winnie being really busted.
Is it not anymore?
Because I don't see it much. Well, it's the thing of like I played it and I think it's fine, but like I was really scared about it when it first started. I think that might be a miss, guys. I stand by my incendiary take was correct. I
Okay.
think the only reason my incendiary take people are like it hasn't been wall burning and fire all the time just because they raised the price, but they didn't like make it clear that they were going to do that was giving my take. So I
Right.
think I think that it's still just as good as I said it was at the time. But I think my Winnie FM take might have been a miss just because of I think it brings down the muzzle velocity enough that it makes the to use. That being
Right.
said, if you ever in like a building and and you don't want to like rotate away with an when FMJ, good lord, that thing's miserable to fight against. Like I got
I
wall
can
banged through 3 walls.
say
It's rough.
yeah,
So
I
it's like,
wouldn't
yeah,
want to
I'll
be
take
there.
pickup because I can't believe they hit me, but like, how?
Right.
Um, yeah. So
Huh.
Bornheim. All right, what we got
Bornheim.
next? All right, best compounds.
Best
Go, Drake.
compounds? All right.
Give me a 1, 2, 3, rapid fire.
I have I know my okay. Wait, rapid fire? You want to just all three?
Yeah, do it. Do it. All three.
Okay. Well, no, my number 2 is a slash. I have an even one there again. I've been doing that a lot, I guess. I'm sorry. Number 3 is Pelican. Pelican Island Prison.
That almost made it onto my worst compounds.
I okay, so you're gonna see a theme in mine. Let me just get through it. Um,
I don't
number
hate Pelican. Pelican's very mid to me.
okay, Nichols Prison / Arden Parish. This is my number 2. I'm waiting for you to disconnect out of it. Yeah, there
Bye.
it is. There it is. Yeah, yeah.
Now I don't look. One of those was I fully understand one of those. I don't understand putting prison on positivity.
And then my number 1 is Healing Waters Church. Wait,
See,
I'm waiting for the disconnect again.
I would put it positive because I really like the upper part of it, but I don't like. I don't
I'm a
dislike the
fan
cabins. It's
of close quarter combat. That's what I'm a fan of,
I
and I also like height.
I like close quarters combat to some. The issue with them for me is those compounds completely force for prison specifically, right? It forces close quarter. I like healing waters because close quarters it happens and it's an option, but you're not forced into it.
Right.
Whereas I feel like prison, it's close combat a bust.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that's
I mean, unless you hang out outside and try to peek windows and whatnot, but like, I don't know. Uh, I understand a lot of people hate Nichols for that, for the reason that I put it, for the reason that I like it. But I don't know. It's just
yeah.
it's fun to me. I just there's a sense
I
of there's a heightened sense of like adrenaline that I get at Nichols
I
Prison.
think the thing that I don't like about it is outside. Like yes, rifles get better, but like the shotguns can still push up. It's
Oh
just
sure,
harder,
oh sure.
especially getting into compounds. Whereas I feel like, man, rifles get so much worse in like those compounds you listed. But I I don't like
Go
prison as
figure.
much as I used.
Go figure. This
It's
is
really weird
my
because
worst hot take.
prison went from being my favorite compound to my least favorite compound. Now it's back to being like might be my worst.
Oh,
Spoilers. But
spoilers.
it's the thing of it's ping pong. It's got better for me, but the thing is, it's really annoying to me to having to push in with a specs because I know somebody's in with a shotgun,
Right. Yeah.
right?
No, I get that.
Like it's there's a lot of boss compounds where like I'll push with a sniper or something just and just be like hip firing, but like that's one where I'm like I'm dead. Like if I go
Right.
in,
It
I'm
is.
dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas there's other ones where like I go in, I'm probably deid, but like I might be able to pull it out with the range of like a lucky hip fire and a good Nagant 2 tap or something.
Right.
But like that one really feels like okay, they're gonna run around 3 corners and run into 7 deadly traps. I'm gonna get flash. Like it's so good for flashes. It's so good for traps. It's not just that it's good for close ranges. That it's so good for all the close range
Right.
advantages, and
Yeah.
that's what can make it a little annoying to me. But
Yeah. That's fair.
I I see the appeal,
Maybe
but ooh,
maybe I'll because I had a slash in there. Maybe I'll make Arden my number 2 because you are right.
I like editing. I
Nichols
like
is
editing.
difficult to do long range with, but I like compounds where I can do a bit of both. But I can't deny that I like Nichols still. Like even
I
if
think
it doesn't.
editing's a really good compound to talk for what I was talking about. Where like I can push in, it's
Right.
probably a bad idea, but like enough wiggle room there where I can hit some firing lanes. The
Right.
weird thing about it is, it's a really odd compound. We like you either want to play pretty long range with it because like the roof and stuff, or
Right.
really close range.
Yeah. It's very
Like, there's
difficult to
not
be
really.
mid-range there.
Yeah, it like you can be mid range, it works, but like leans towards one or the other.
Right. I think it
Um,
depends on what they've got, and
yeah,
if they
I actually
happen
like
to
Aiden a
be
lot.
if they happen to be like in the courtyard immediately around the actual
Hmm.
parish, and you also have medium range, then it's viable.
Yes,
Then it's good. But
yeah.
that's just situational at that point.
Or if they're like rotating a lot over the ground, and you guys both
Right.
have mid range weapons, you get a lot of like peeking between the roof and stuff. But
Right.
I like Aiden a lot. That'd probably be my number 4. It didn't quite make my list.
Okay.
Because my list is I really like Blanket,
Okay.
Blanchett Graves.
That was close
Which
to
is weird
mine.
because I was just talking about the close quarters combat not liking it, but I really like Blanket. Um, the it's got good firing lanes outside. It's got good close quarters combat in it. I love the little like down low part. I think that's a really fun.
Like the
You get really
catacombs or
unique encounters
whatever it
there.
is.
Yeah, you've got the sniper tower, you've got the building, you've got the underground. There's so much to Blanchett. You've got the wall, like all these places where you're like, yeah, I've had fights that are cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a really unique compound.
I do
I
like
also really
blanket.
like that during the event, I've had really unique encounters there with Mariner because you've got
Huh.
water on all the sides, so like there's a lot of really interesting rotations and stuff I've gotten.
So you just
Um,
rotate in the water, so
yeah,
you
you just
heal as you
yeah.
rotate. Yeah.
Hmm. It's really neat, and you typically have a good cover, and then you can pop into a new thing. So you can go like, oh, wall, jump into water, rotate all the way around to the other side of the building, take some shots there, rotate. Like it's a cool combat. I like it. And then my next two, well, you went prison, I went fort.
Fort. Okay.
Yeah, so
Fort
Fort Borden's
Karmic
number 2, and
and
then
Fort
Fort
Bolden.
Keramic's my number 1.
Oh, okay.
Um, I
Yeah.
really love Fort Keramic. I don't know why. I love the wall fights. It's a really unique. I think it's because it leads you to being able to rotate a lot in like the circular motion,
Yeah.
but then it really rewards map knowledge too,
That's true.
like
Yeah.
knowing where ladders and metal is. The side of that is if you're playing in a really sweaty lobby, it really punishes patience. So I understand why some people also really hate Fort because Fort mechanic gets significantly less fun the sweatier you're in.
Right.
Most of the time. I've also had really fun, like really sweaty loadouts where like you're just people crouch walking and it's just really rewarding. You're like, I'm at 50 HP, but I got some really weird angle that they weren't expecting. So
Right.
I think it's really fun that way. And then Fort Borden, I just love how rotating it is. How just you can rotate anywhere there.
Yeah.
You can jump out the walls, um, and just rotate anywhere. There's a bunch of sneaky angles, but there's none that feel there aren't as many that feel gamey, right? It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
multiple peak spots, but there's less like crack spots.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So like
Less one
like the
ways,
sneak, yeah,
as
like the
they're
sneakiest
called.
one I go to a lot is I go to one that's like the metal where the dog spawns sometimes. And you can like shoot through that dog cage,
Oh,
and a lot of
right.
people
Through the
don't
wall.
expect that, but it feels unexpected, but it doesn't feel like cheap.
Right. Well,
So
because you get hit, and assuming you live, you can kind of like back up and go, "Oh, I see how he saw
you're
me."
like, oh right, yeah, there's the hole. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about
Um,
that crack there. Yeah,
Yeah, and
or
so I'm
hole.
not against like the dirty cracks where you're like, ooh, that's a really ooh, I can't believe
Yeah, the
I
ones
got that peak.
the ones I hate are like where the wood barely splits that much,
Yeah,
and you're like
and
with a
I'm not
sniper.
I'm not against those occasionally, but when it turns into both sides are only peaking those, and there's some compounds that
Yeah.
definitely push you towards that. What's the is it Forked River? What's the nuclear compound on DeSalle with
Um,
two buildings, the two wood buildings that face each other? Because that's what happens there.
two
Turns
wood
it
buildings that
turns it
face
into
each
the crack.
other. Oh, my
But like anytime
brain.
you have the two wooden buildings that face each other, it's always
Yeah.
crack peaking, and sometimes it's like, okay, can we please? Um, yeah. So I think
Weeping
the
Stone.
fun thing is it very much got to play styles. Drake's like, I want to play close quarters and close quarters only. And like, I want to rotate and be able to do whatever either one. Lean into those.
Yeah.
Um, which is because I think part is I'm in my range kick right now of like mid to long range, not quite sniping range. I'm not really enjoying sniping right now.
Fair.
But when I first started, I played like strictly shotguns because
Yeah, I
it
remember
was my
that
first
actually.
mouse and keyboard game. So like my job was to carry this sticky and to do
And to
that.
kill the boss.
And
Yeah.
I played Romeo because I needed the extra time of before they could close on me to have that extra range. And
Right.
like now the point where like I'm enjoying doing like 1-2 tapping with spikes and stuff. So at a little bit of a weird point. I'm back to enjoying being support though. The medkits and the lunchboxes is great.
Your
All right,
combat medic in
worst
1895.
compounds. Worst compounds. I'm gonna go first on this one because you
Yeah,
went
go
first on
ahead.
the last one. All right, weaves. I don't like weaves. It always feels like a camp fest at weaves. Like
That's
I'm not
fair.
leave. There's not good places to peek from inside at all. So like if I'm inside with a shotgun, I'm never leaving. If inside with a shotgun, they're never leaving. Red Skull revives. I've had more Red Skull revive in weaves on both sides than I have in any other compound. I freaking hate it.
I actually don't
If
mind Reeves too
if
much.
the boss layer isn't there, the compound's pretty fun. If the boss layer's there and somebody's inside there, I loathe it. I loathe it so much.
I would say
Just because
Darren is
it's so
probably
long.
worse than Reeves, and it's only because they're right next to
But
each
Darren has
other.
windows. Darren at least windows, and like you can pop out one side and rotate around. You can't rotate as easily. Like you can't like pop out one side of Reeves because like what are you gonna do? Pop out the
I
sliding gate, let
guess.
them know where you are, jump down the hole. Like ugh.
I guess. Something about Darren just upsets me, which is funny because
understand
Darren's not on my worst compounds list.
My second one is catfish, and it's gotten better. It's
You
gotten a
don't
lot
like
better since they
catfish?
fixed it. A big difference is a very similar thing of you're inside a wooden box. You've got a couple spots to peek, and it just leads to Camp Fest again. I don't like the Camp Festy ones.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
and people are like, oh, I sent Chapel on your list then, because Chapel is Camp Fest in the world. Simple. I leave because there's not a great extract at Chapel, and so I straight up just that one to the north, and that's about it. So I leave, and then they come out, or otherwise, like I just go and do something else. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go hit a resupply or something,
Right.
and if they have that extract, I just go north and it's got some nice sight lines, and I just do that.
I camp them out there.
Like I just trick them out with it's harder to do with weaves and stuff, but
yeah, that's
it's more
fair.
risky because they got better extracts. My number one is prison. I've already talked about it. Being forced
Spoilers.
it's being forced into stuff. I don't like the compounds that lead to massive camp fest who force their play style. So.
Oh wait, Nichols or
Nichols?
Okay, I thought you meant
I don't
Pelican.
Pelican's close, but the problem with Pelican is I like the vertical fights on the catwalks.
Yes,
and I like
enjoy
the
those.
I enjoy going up to the as I call it headshot tower. Where you headshot somebody, then promptly get headshot every time.
Every time
you get a good shot, and then somebody goes, they're in hunting tower. I'm too good to leave. So.
Yep. And they're feeling cocky.
It also has the permanent bug spawn, which makes me giggle. So.
Is a permanent bug spawn there?
Yeah, right by the tower, the big tree.
Oh, that one. Yeah, the big tree outside. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a fun one. All right, what about best worst compounds?
Worst compounds. My number 3 is actually Hemlock and Hyde.
Yeah, I can see that.
Bottom right corner of Lost and Delta. It's how do I defend this? It's not fun. No, I don't know. There's just something about Hemlock and Hyde that just I don't enjoy. It's a weird setup. I die too often there. And I know the compound. Before someone says, "Oh, you just don't know the map," like, no, I know the map. Like, I know Hemlock.
I think the thing about Hemlock and Hyde is every play style works there. Like mid range works, range works because of the long sight line to the thing. Boss layers work as buildings to hide in for close range. But it's the thing of no compound's good. Like none of those they really favored there. So it's kind of the thing of while depending on your point of view, I think comes down to just it can feel really bad because you're like, oh, this compound is not terrible, and that I feel like that should have worked, but it didn't. Or it can lead to this worked this time, cool. So I think that's one that's going to come down a lot to experience because I think it can lead to a lot of feels bad, it feels good. That's what I think of for it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying I've never won a fight at Hemlock.
It's also got a lot of water that you can randomly get stuck on and get killed in. That happens to me.
Yeah, running through the middle. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
What's your
number 2?
Ironically, the water doesn't really affect me too much, mainly because I never go in it. But my number 2 is Cypress Huts. I feel like that's not a surprise for anyone who knows me, though.
That was my goal. Almost. I dislike. Here's the thing. I think Cypress is worse now than Catfish, but I hate Catfish so much. Before the fixes,
What's funny
like
is I
they've
love the
added a couple logs
aesthetic.
and stuff.
I love the
Yeah, oh yeah,
aesthetic of
too.
Cypress and of Catfish.
Oh, it's so good.
But
I
like,
love
I
the
just
aesthetic. Yeah,
something about the compound. It's just,
playing a night match in those two is
it's not. It's.
no.
I have choice words for it, but you know, it's to each their own, right?
Yeah, I feel you there.
I think part of why I don't like Cypress is because usually there's a extract out in the water, and just reaching that extract is a pain when you're being chased. I hate it.
There's so there's so many sightlines to it. The one thing about it is there's like that one sniper spot that's like just out of dig site scan. You're like, why is this allowed?
Oh,
You should not be able to get sightline on the extract outside of dig site, but like perfectly.
Right. Okay. You want to try guess my number one worst compound?
Is it Borden and like this is like just the funny flip?
No. You should. I mean, I think you know me well enough. You might be able to guess it.
I'm actually not sure.
You're not sure? Okay. It's
not Scabber, is it?
It's on Desal.
It's on Desal. I do. It's
I almost
Plantation.
I almost fully expect all of my friends to know this. That was probably number 4 or 5. So
that's the one I always hear you complain about. Plantation.
No, it's
what's number 1?
It's Ash Creek Lumber.
Like Ash Creek?
I can't stand Ash Creek. Like it's I don't know. Maybe it's a skill issue, but everywhere around it is so open that if someone gets there before you, good luck.
See, I like that because it makes there's a lot of nice rotation sightlines on any of the peak spots.
I suppose,
so like anywhere you peak, you have a couple points. You can have a nice line of sightline. But I definitely see that openness now that you say that. Like there's really
so open,
especially with one side being water. Like you really can't rotate that water side.
Not easily. Not without being right up against the building.
I would say the thing with that is also pushing it's a pain.
Yeah, that's more or less what I'm getting.
I think it's one of the worst ones to push.
If you manage to get inside first, it's not that bad. But I always expect people to be there first because that's usually what happens. It's people get there before me and I'm just suffering.
That's fair. I see that.
I have I won't say it on podcast because we're a family friendly podcast, but I changed the word Ash Creek to something else when I'm playing because I cannot.
But take lumber.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to go to the last basically the fully subjective one?
The fully subjective one, yes. Let's hit it.
All right, we're gonna hit the first. Where did you put slugs? Because I know you put slugs on there.
You know, I didn't, but
you didn't.
I didn't, but I need to.
Because that is what I hear you complain about.
I do. Which with a capital B about that so much. You're absolutely right. But
so I have a question. When do slugs tilt you? Because slugs is on my list only in very specific scenarios.
Slugs tilt me every time.
Okay.
Honestly, because that I need to change something to slugs. But we only have 3 spots, so I got to figure out which one needs to switch.
Because slugs, I'm totally fine with getting killed within like 12 meters to slugs. Because I'm like, oh, cool. It's a skill issue, right? I died to a skill issue. Fine.
Okay.
What really annoys me with slugs is when I get killed by like a Spectre or a Crowning King. It's always one of those for some reason. From like 40 meter 2-tap. I legitimately got 55 meter 2-tapped by a Crowning King once. And how is this acceptable?
It's not.
Because like I'm fine with them mitigating. It's the thing of I like that slugs mitigate the rangeness of shotguns. That's fine. I think that's fine. I understand why that tilts people. I think it's good. I don't understand why that also at the same time removes the range penalty from shotguns. That's the part that I'm like, can we not do that?
Yeah.
Because if I do it and I just miss all my shots, I go, where's my ammo? So unless you're like completely unbalanced, but it's like, man, it is really upsetting to 1-2 tapped by a Crowning King from 57 meters.
I didn't realize
how is that okay?
Yeah, I didn't realize
the clown and cringe becomes a menace with slugs.
It's 26 meters effective range with slugs.
That's with its headshot. Yeah, you can two tap pretty effectively with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it can do some stupid things.
I never realized that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of mine. What do you got? What do you got for tilting? Which can do one and then the other.
One and the other. My number 3 is Avto, but this was also
Yeah.
without really considering the newer like what do you call it?
The nerf.
The
Yeah.
nerfs. Thank you.
I would have put it on there, but because of the nerfs and I haven't seen it, I didn't put it on there because I just
Right.
didn't see it.
And that's fair. But I mean, even with the nerfs, if you're like close enough range, you might as well treat that thing like a shotgun. And it's just like,
Yep.
okay, you have a burst. You have a burst
I think
rifle. Congratulations, you
now
killed me.
these are tilting to die with.
Yeah.
If this was tilting to use, Avatar would be my number one.
Tilting to use it might be my number 1 as well. Yeah.
Because every time I'm just like, how did
Which
this would have killed me if I was on the receiving end of this? How did this
right.
not kill?
Yeah, exactly. Now, reminding our viewers, we start this podcast off with our fellow 4 stars. So we clearly haven't had the effort put into practicing with Avtos and Nitros.
They have, which we talked about fluctuating the stairs a lot lately. I feel like I've been fluctuating less since they fixed Death Cheat. Because I was playing, I tanked pretty hard doing that anytime I played solo and it felt like I was getting like fanned or like some gun that requires a perk to use. I feel like that's fixed a little bit, so that's fixed some like thing there. So like I do feel like I'm back to like 4-star, 5-star range fluctuation now instead of just fluctuating within 3 stars.
That's how I've been actually. It's 4 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah, because it felt like for a bit like 3-star wasn't 3-star. It really felt like 3-star was people who should be 2-star and people who should be 4 or 5-star but aren't because of the like death and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it felt like every single person I fought was either like snap headshotting me or positioning like a pro, or like, oh, this open area seems like a great place to crouch.
And bandage, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, these people shouldn't be in matches together.
Right. This is bullying, is what we call it.
So I do feel like the MMA has gotten fixed a little bit. Because I haven't been 3-star since that, which is very nice.
Good.
But okay, I'm gonna bounce that because I didn't go Avto, I went Nitro.
For number one.
Because it always for tilting to die too. Nitro was one of mine. I have Nitro because it always.
Oh, okay.
I always tilt to dying to Nitro because it's always they always like have that wall banger. They're always like right at the edge of the body shot thing where you're like, really, you just flick body shotted me and killed me from 50 meters. That's cool. That's fun.
Yep.
I enjoy that in this game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Being downed and so and it's especially knowing like you only have 4 shots and somehow you wiped a team without missing one using the aperture.
That irritates me a whole lot when it's like one. In fact, I think that happened recently. We got wiped by one dude. It was a team of 3, but one dude from that team wiped the floor with us because he had a nitro and just didn't miss.
Yeah.
I don't think he reloaded. I think he reloaded once.
Yep. It's that gun is. I think that gun is insanely good if you're good with it, but it's again $1,000 price tag.
I think that solidifies
the
fact it's a skill issue only because we also had it as our worst weapons, or I did anyway. I don't remember what yours was.
It's weird. I think that Nitro is on worst weapon and best weapon like pretty easily, but I think it goes in best weapon because it's such a high. It takes so much to get there.
Yeah.
And I think that makes the weapon kind of bad because like I kind of want the guns to have that high skill ceiling, but I also want the average Joe to be able to pick them up, not have it break the game either direction of hey, you're gonna suck with this or you're gonna just wipe server because you took the gun.
Right.
Now, unless it's very clear in the game's going, if you bring Star Shell, you're making a choice. Right?
You're making a choice. It may not be a good choice, but it is a choice. I will say Star Shell's been fun with barrels though, in the shooting range. Just throwing that in there.
Yes.
That's been fun. I've been
What's another tilt you got?
My number 2 is Nitro.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Yeah, exact same reasons. Yeah, so Avto and Nitro.
I'm glad that we have both agreed to going with Nitro Bornheim, right? That's gonna be
yeah.
We're just both gonna have a miserable time.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number 1 then?
My number 1, I did add slugs to this, but the only reason I did this time is because the thing I originally put is also an ammo type. anything Spitzer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weirdly tilting for me, and I don't know.
It's always a headshot.
See, if they're bad with their aim, I don't mind as much because it's scary, but I'm not dead.
Yeah, I don't
You know what I
mind
mean?
getting
Like
like
when you hear the crack of that bullet
yeah,
go over your head, it's like holy crap! And you get scared, you duck in real
and
life.
you're like they're fishing for, and like the moment they miss the first shot and you hear the crack, you're like, ah, headshot. What they're going for? Okay.
Yes, and so you know to hide and everything, and then it's
Yeah.
fair, and I'm not as tilted about it. But
I don't getting too tapped by it, but I definitely see the headshot hit. It's the headshot with any type of scope. You're like, right,
especially in
okay,
fog, which literally last night we had that exact scenario happen
yeah,
where a team of two took Spitzer. Both of them had
yeah.
Spitzer in the scope, and they played it smart. I gotta give them credit. They put traps down where we saw them, and then as we approached them, because we finally managed to get up to them, they had rotated away, and so we
Yep.
started walking into their area, hitting all their deadly traps, and then they kept
I think that's the
peppering us.
tilting thing about Spitzers. The long range headshots and the knowing this is gonna be a long match, and not just because like you're not gonna, and you're like, oh, you're not even playing it wrong. It's just this isn't gonna be fun for me.
Yeah,
And I
we
know.
actually ended up just leaving. Like, I know that sounds
Yep.
very like,
That's the way to do it.
you're just leaving. Oh, but it's like, yeah, because you're gonna have fun and I'm not, so I'm just gonna leave.
I have nothing against people who are sometimes just like, yep, time to exit. Cool. Like
Yeah,
I know this is gonna be a 20-minute
you know what's funny is
20-minute sniper fight or something.
yeah,
That's not what I'm in the mood for.
there's a load screen tip. It's been there since the game came out
Mhm.
of like, if you don't think your match is gonna do well, if you can escape whenever you want at any extract. It's like the
It's
game
always there for a
suggests it
reason.
for you. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's totally viable and
Which I will say,
allowed.
I like that we have the grounded thing, MIDI. So now, like, I don't feel like, oh, I've been down. It's a more. I feel less pressured to extract now. So I'm playing it like a trio because like one of us is gonna have remedy. It's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
If we
there's a
survive, we might actually be fine.
right. And there's a chance to find a
Yeah.
trait somewhere to get the bar back. Yeah.
No shame in extracting, folks.
No shame.
All right, and then my last, because I didn't want to do an order for these, is specifically the status. So it's Dum Dum and Incendiary.
Are the tilting weapons to die to?
Yeah,
Now, do you
because
mean
Incendiary, I'll die to it. Because it's the thing. This isn't necessarily to die to. This is specifically to fight.
okay?
There's two reasons for this. Because the vast majority of the time, well, it's to Incendiary first. It feels like either, okay, charcoal, that's just annoying, I don't care. Or I'm on fire and I might just die just because of this ammo type you took for this range. Okay.
Right.
This reason I enjoy playing it, and I still think it's possibly too good. I'm sorry.
Possibly. I'm not.
Yeah. I think
fighting
I think long ammo is the specific one that's like, ooh. Spikes
Yeah.
spikes both in Martini because they can split it and set people on fire within 40 meters, and then switch to a normal ammo and then one tap them future
Through a
past that.
wall
So like,
or yeah.
it gives you a really good way to push, negating that part of long ammo. It potentially makes people who haven't downed one tap, which is frustrating to play against. Now I play it, but I'd be sad to not be able to play it anymore. But I don't think it's a bad thing if they nerfed it. They probably should. But the one that really tilts me is Dum Dum, and here's why.
Okay.
Because Dum Dum is very, very much. A lot of times you just get pushed by it and you can't stop the bleeding because then you die from pushing, or you just die, or you don't do it and you die of the bleeding. Like
Right.
so many times where it feels like, oh yeah, I just died because you happened to take that ammo type.
Right. Yeah.
But that wouldn't be enough to do it because that's the same as Incendiary, right, Baldo?
More or
Well,
less.
here's the thing: it's also really, really freaking annoying to be tagged by compact ammo because somebody's got nothing better to do than shoot me from 90 meters with a compact Dum Dum conversion, do 1 point of damage just to make me slow walk for a minute, stop the bleeding because they feel like doing that.
Right.
It's so annoying. Like, stop it. Get up close and kill me with it, or stop tagging me from that range. Like, please.
He's trying to slow you down so that his buddy with the spark sniper can hit you.
Maybe.
But, I mean,
the other thing
that would
is I've been
actually be
playing
a
a lot of,
solid, thing.
yeah, I've been playing a lot of Mariner too, and either one of those
Vince
burning or
Mariner.
bleeding. Yeah, the big one being bleeding. Bleeding prevents Mariner, and so it's really annoying to have you that stopped when you're like pushing somebody in through water. 'Cause you're like, yeah, I can do this thing that I normally wouldn't be able to do, and I can only do during this event. So I want to do it while I can, so I can push through water, and then you get bled, and then you're like, well, now I'm just dead because I made a bad tactical decision. Because
And I'm
well,
bleeding.
that negates it all. Cool. Okay.
Right.
Bye. So,
Yeah.
but on the flip side, if they're playing compact ammo and they're like 40 meters away and you're there, it's so much fun because you just do like a little wiggle. They miss as long as they're like missing one or two shots, like you just heal fast enough. They like you can't kill me, and you just it's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are my three.
Okay.
Um, I'm glad Nitro was on both of ours.
Yes. It's that's actually eye-opening a little bit because part of me I'm always kind of guessing myself on is it really
Mhm.
just that much of a skill issue and I'm just that bad? Or is it actually the gun is not a great gun to have? So
It's
I
kind of the
mean,
thing of it is a skill issue, but that doesn't mean that the gun that I like that the
is
gun's in the
good.
game.
Right. Yeah.
It's also it's the same thing like dying to a sniper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a skill issue. Like I probably play that differently, but like yeah, sometimes I want to peek the window even if I know it's a bad idea. I want to be annoyed if I get punished.
I mean, yeah, at that point
So yeah,
that's a choice, kind of like taking
I think
Star
the
Shell.
thing with snipers too is there's this thing where a lot of times they don't cover the body well enough. There's like this weird point where like if they're not super good with it, or if they're being really good and rotating, where you get picked up and downed like 7, 8 times, and that can lead to really feels bad matches that way too
Oh,
against
definitely.
snipers. So we probably should put snipers on there somewhere, but honestly,
I
what
mean,
it's in,
that can depend because I mean, even having some
yeah,
weather
people,
conditions can mess with you. You know, the
yeah.
sun being in your eyes. It
I think the thing is like, yeah, it annoys me when I play a sniper and get those. It's probably good that we have those because it keeps because we encounter snipers sometimes, but it's not like every single match.
yeah.
And I think if they remove the downsides of like nighttime and waiting time and stuff, then it would be like an every match thing, and I think it'd become a lot more tilting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, and they do have the downside of push them really really hard.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
like if you're playing a sniper playing against a sniper, you move to leave or push like your life depends on it because it does.
Yes.
So
We did that the other night as well.
yeah.
Accidentally pushed. We didn't even realize they had snipers, but we pushed them, and after we killed them, we are like, "Oh, that's a sniper rolling down the hill." I'm glad we killed him. Yeah.
Um, the one that I also want to point out is the Sinio used to be on here, but it's no longer, and that was because it used to be really bad with its awful fire rate. So it used to be a little tilting when I got killed by that. But yeah,
Is
that's kind of an off thing.
I
I think it's
was
Centennial's pretty decent now, especially with its price drop and its fire rate increase. It's become a a good addition. It's got a little home now.
yeah. Talk about the sniper variant or just
Uh,
period.
sniper variant's fine. I feel like it actually didn't benefit as much as the normal one for the fire rate.
Oh, okay, fair.
Sniper, I still think the sniper variant still not good. It's still
I've
good another
gotten
price
kills
drop.
with it. That's all I can say about it. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
it should
an
be
advocate, but
it should
also
be
not.
200. It should be $200, and it's 300. But
Is it
I
really?
don't know why I care. I just hit the $1 million mark. I like a million 100,000. Like $100 difference for a gun doesn't mean anything to me, but it does.
That is only
Like
229.
I play Sparks because it's a budget gun, and that's why I enjoy it so much because I've gotten really good with the Sparks. But like, I don't need to play it. I've got the money for other guns. I just don't.
Right.
Because that's the weird thing. Like I always talk about like yeah, players who don't worry about money, can play whatever they want, and then like me who doesn't have to worry about money goes yeah, but Sparks is only $130. Then you take incendiary poison for 30, and so like for $200 you got a really good gun. So why would I take $400 when I get $200?
Right. And still have a
And
really good
then I
gun.
never play anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right, we're probably running long here, so let's move to wrap up. And
That's actually a good question. Where are we at? Oh, an hour 40. All right.
yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. For things for wrap up, we're gonna be trying to move to bi-weekly.
We'll
So
see
we're
how
gonna
this
be
goes.
trying to go to every other week because this gives Drake enough time to edit without feeling pressured, and enough time for us to figure out a day that's good for us both on scheduling. Um, and it's long enough that we can feel the pressure to be consistent without going, we missed 1 week, let's miss 7. So
Right.
we're trying another thing. I know this is like the 7th episode, well, we did that, but this is the hope.
We can hope.
And then the other thing is, podcast listeners, you have no idea about this, but if you're watching on YouTube, this was technically a face reveal. So,
Yep.
hello, people of the internet.
Baldy's been here the whole time, and you didn't know.
Whoa! Yeah, you can see my Warhammer
You know what's funny
in the
actually
background, all
is
my painted stuff. So
what's funny is it's YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify technically does video now, so it's actually on all of them. They can see.
Oh, I
Spotify
did
does
not
video
know
now.
that.
Yeah, it's wild.
See, the podcasts I listen to do that. So
I'm a little surprised you didn't know, actually. Yeah, because all of ours have been.
I only listen to like 2 podcasts on there.
Oh,
So
okay.
I listen to Trapped Under Plastic, and then I occasionally listen to Adeptus Ridiculous if they're doing, but I normally listen to that off YouTube. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we've had video support on there since episode 3 or something, 3 or 4.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, there we go.
There we go. If you guys if you guys like this type of content, right, where it's like us and our hot takes and everything, let us know, please. What I guess find us either on Discord or on Twitter. You can just at Hunt Lowdown, all one word on Twitter. Or sorry, X, whatever.
We're both active pretty daily on Discord. Drake's is a little bit bigger, so you probably, if you like look for hunt partners, go there. If you're just trying to get a hold of one of us to suggest something, either will work. Twitch, I'm trying to start streaming a little more regularly, but I'm trying to get back to doing like one story game and like one like hunt thing going.
Right.
Other
I just
than
need
that,
to get back to it. Period.
Yeah, YouTube for me, it's the editing commitment.
Oh, I know. I know all about that.
Yeah, all my hobbies are like time intensive. Like I want to do editing, I want to do animating, I want to do painting miniatures.
That's been my problem, dude.
I want to read a book. Let me just grab this quick. Like none of these things are all things like, oh, you gotta like commit. It's not just time. It's like that is the attention, right?
Right. Yeah. I feel bad. Like I want to go sit on the back porch. Like we just got a screened in back porch installed. I want to go sit on the porch, but I feel guilty doing that because I could be doing a million other things. So I feel you. But yeah, so if you want to leave us a comment, send us a message. I think you can even leave a comment, I think, on either Anchor or Spotify or something. I got to look into that again. I think you can do that. Please let us know. We'll do this again if you like it.
We're getting to the point too where we're getting a little bit of traction. Like we're getting
a little bit, yeah.
I think
last I saw was 2,000 plays.
Yeah, 2,000 plays. I think it was like 20-ish for recent episodes was more or less.
I think the average across all of them, like if you average all the episodes, was 20 plays or something. I'll double check right now, actually.
So we get to the point where like with people listening to it, I kind of want to solidify the format and stuff, so this way it's for people to pop in and out. So if you guys have stuff that you really like or you don't like, so like if you don't like I'm straight up stealing it. So Trapped Under Plastic's a mini one. They call it the preamble ramble, where they just talk about like what's happened to you the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So like if you guys like the preamble ramble, if you're like, I came here for like like if you came here for the specific, I want the breakdown and I want like random tips and tricks and like the balancing and gaming aspect, or if you're like, oh, I liked this opinion episode, or I'd really like you to get guests on and have like their unique takes, or spend a week talking about the Bomblands or the Centennial, or what exactly people are looking for, kind of, because otherwise we're gonna just keep up like this, where like some weeks it'll be, that's the other one, because we've kind of have 3 episodes we've done, 3 episode types. We've done nitty gritty breakdown, here's how things work,
right? Mechanics.
We've had recap of whatever the current events are, like what the event is, or patch notes.
Yeah.
Or the third one is this, where it's like we're giving opinions and kind of going back and forth more like podcast style.
Right.
So if one of those you like or dislike, let us know, because like I really like doing all 3, but like the one that sticks out to me is I enjoy covering events and talking about them. But like everybody does that, right?
Right. It's like you can go to YouTube on the day of the event that comes out. Like that's where for us, you got to wait for us to actually talk about it and release it. Yeah. And we're usually a little bit behind, admittedly, but Yes.
Speaking
What?
of, I forgot the person who I was trying to
Oh
give
yeah.
a call out, a shout out to last week. If you haven't watched something, it's Corn F or Kung Fu, as this thing goes. So it's corn in the capital F with a corn with a C, like the
All
vegetable
one word.
vegetable. And he's done some really really nice videos. I don't know, I haven't seen a ton of his stuff, but he's done some really nice ones lately, breaking down how shotguns work and how misleading the stats are. And so like he basically goes down and proves how basically penny shot decreases, it makes your spread worse, it makes your the amount of pellets worse, and it makes your damage drop off worse. And so he's like, this is strictly worse for PvP, and basically proves it and goes through all this stuff. And so he's done some really nice breakdowns there. So if you guys are looking for some of that nitty gritty before we cover it, that might be a fun place to check it out. Because I shout out Homewheel, who did something similar,
Okay.
because he does it too. But yeah, that's another person, and he did the small, a little bit smaller, so I wanted to shout
Okay.
them out.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
actually need to go look that up. You mentioned to me to remind you of this, but I clearly forgot. So I'm glad you did.
yeah,
But
he just popped up with this shotgun one talking about pellet spread and the differences between the different guns, like the normal and sawn off and all that. And he really impressed me with how well he covered it, because he went through all of them very systematically and
okay.
then talked about the ammo types and stuff like that. And it was really interesting. So
So that's Corn
yeah,
F. Corn
Corn
F.
F.
All one word, capital F,
Let me
capital C.
one second. I'm gonna double check this real fast.
To make
Make
sure
sure
we're
that
not
I have
shouting
it
out some
correct.
random zero
That, make sure
subscribed.
that I'm not like.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
want to make sure that. Yep, it's Colton Knife. He's got a like
And this is on
weird
YouTube?
meme cat thing, JPEG cat thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Um.
As of this recording.
So yeah, it's just called the Great Debate: Buckshot versus Penny Shot. So
Okay.
that one really only covers those two. It's 10 minutes. It's really good. He's also got one, I haven't seen this one, but Ultimate Bullet Penetration / FMJ Guide. And he's been upping them a little bit since the shooting came out. He's done one about slugs. So like that's where I learned that there used to be the thing where like all the shotguns were dependent. You had long barrels, medium barrels, and short barrels, and that's kind of been lost now because like, oh, we buffed the short barrel one to make it more balanced and blah 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 blah. So like the Romero hand cannons are now different from each other slightly, even though
Right.
they're the same barrel length. However, slug basically only takes that into account.
Oh,
It's
weird.
it's like one of those things. Yeah, so it's one of those things like, oh, I just wouldn't have known that if someone
That's
pointed out.
good. I need to go look
Yeah,
this up. I'm glad you said this. Shouting it
it's
out
really
for me
neat.
too. But so yeah, if you want
Knowledge is
to
power.
knowledge is power. If you want to find us, leave us a comment. Let us know. Again, we have a Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I think that's it.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Don't ping me on Twitter. I don't ever. I technically have one. I haven't checked it in like a
Just
decade.
at Hunt Lowdown. You can at Drake as well if you want, but I think it's with an underscore.
Drake, let me
but...
know if somebody pings us.
Okay,
There we go.
I'll let you know. But yeah, thank you for listening. There's a link tree
Yeah.
in the description to find us. So
Have
I hope
a
that
good one,
helps.
guys.
Yeah, don't forget to bring your drugs into the bayou. I can't forget that.